All right, day block B, right? Days Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to be into the get up, press, and deadlift. So what I want to do is I want to go over some things about the deadlift that we've seen over several of these strength weeks, and just some extra stuff to help you have a really great experience, safe experience. Okay, because the deadlifts are pretty nuanced compared to like, oh, I just grab a heavier bell for presses. So I just want to go over some safety things and some ideas of how to transition from like one weight to the next weight to the next weight. Like, when do I go from the kettlebell to the barbell? How big a jumps do I make with the barbell? Things like that. So first and foremost, on a day like today, it's very easy for us to think about what is the thing I'm picking up, not about what is my body doing through space. So remember that right now in this strength week, the goal is to assess our body's ability to hinge loaded, right? That's the goal, is to see how much can I hinge my body to stand up with. It's not, can I arbitrarily say I can lift 200 pounds, right? Those are extra great little fluffy things that are kind of fun along the way, but more about what's the integrity of my body in positions is the number one goal, right? So you really want to think about, whenever I approach the thing, I'm not looking at the thing to get going, right? I am getting my feet underneath the thing or around the thing, the bell, and now I'm focusing on what is my body doing. So hands on hips, abs on. I'm pushing my hips up. I'm getting to my hinge. I'm putting my hands down. Now, if I need to make any adjustments, I can make some adjustments, right? But you see how I started the exercise looking forward, hands and hips, and then I'm kind of searching for the thing. Then I can kind of make minor adjustments after that instead of doing this. And then now I'm in really bad positions, right? So I want to think about that first with all my deadlifting forever, really. But then for strength week, it's hard. I want to be thinking about, if it says finding 5RM, which is really great for all of our future note-taking, 5RM, 10RM, is that I'm doing 5 singles in a row, and the bar or the implement is coming to a complete rest every single repetition. It's not 1, 2, 3, right? It's not just to get to 5. I am doing 1, top of the exercise is my shoulders are above my hips, not behind my hips, right? The weight's on my abs, the weight's not on my back. And I'm pausing, retensioning, pulling, pausing, retensioning, pulling, right? So if I'm getting to my 5s or my 10s or my 3s, whatever it is, I'm thinking 3 singles in a row, 5 singles in a row, 2 singles in a row, whatever the board is doing, okay? So think about the abs and the hips, and then top of the lift is shoulders over hips over heels, not beyond that. There's no extra credit. But my knees are locked at the top of the exercise. And ideally, my hips, my glutes are locked, abs are locked. So think quads locked, glutes locked, abs locked, eyes forward, right? Not eyes up in those positions. And then how you manage the weights from where you are is you want to think about, I'm going to warm up first with something 1,000% I know I can do by 10 repetitions. Something that I have done in the past, something I have no doubt about. And since this is a warm-up, it's not about going, getting a bell, come back to your square, setting up, right? Just go to the thing, move it out of the way, and get your nice, crisp, good 10 deadlifts in, right? And then you kind of want to be jumping every couple bells from there with your weights, all right? You can use a single kettlebell all the way up to 200 pounds. So you can just kind of like bell, 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 up, right? It's when you get to the big gray bells, the 123, 150, 200, that's when you can make a transition into the barbell. If you know you're going to be getting over 200 pounds, right? You're going to want to get to a barbell before you get to the 200, right? So I might want to do a barbell with 100 or 135 or 115 or 150, right? And then get past that 185, 200, 205, 215, because I want the practice of the lift as my warm-up. So if you think, yeah, I'm getting above 200 pounds today, or I don't know, start with kettlebells. But if you know you're getting over 200 pounds, just start with a light 10 RM barbell deadlift, and then just start adding weights into it. Add big weights, right? Don't want to see like 14 10-pound weights on there. And then sharing is caring. So use the entire room to kind of like find out where other barbells are, because it's going to be a long time moving plates on and off the bars. All right. Now, if you follow me to the board, I'm going to kind of give you a reference of where we are and why we start with those 10s, right? So the 10s are up in this zone 1 section, and that's going to be kind of like, I know for a fact I can get here. These are percentages of body weight, and then lady, men, female, male, right? So once you get beyond like this 50% of your body weight number, I don't want you to think about, oh, I have to go 50, 75 body weight, 110, 125. Really? I want you to think about, I'm just going to grab 10% more than last time and see how many reps I can do. You're just going to do that until you get to a weight that you're like, okay, this was super heavy by 3. I'm going to write down that weight, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to come back to the board and see where that stands. Don't chase the numbers on the board, because that's not going to be really the smartest way for you to get higher intensity for your exercise and your deadlifts, right? So think about that first. What can I do, right? I can do 5s or 10s. I'm going to do my 5s, and I'm like, cool, I could do that by 5. Let me try this by 3. Oh, I can go up a bell by 3. Okay, I don't want to go any heavier than this bell by 3. Write that down, and then reference to the board where you're at there, okay? Remember, the deadlifts, the best thing about using the deadlift in Strength Week is so that when you see deadlifts in the future, you know where to go with your suggested 5RM, 10RM, or percentages, okay? This is not see how heavy I can go just because I want to see how heavy I can go to sacrifice the form and positions of my body, right? Second to that, right, if the deadlift, I'm chasing a weight and the quality of the deadlift goes down for the increase in weight, it's not worth it, okay? Also, you might want to look at the other things that you've been able to do, and if you're like line 7, 8 across everything, and you get to a line 9 on deadlift, really going beyond that doesn't serve us any justice unless there's a ton of room, right? If you get to line 9, you're like, that's 9 out of 10 hard, there's no need to keep going, right? So think about where you are on your other stuff, and kind of like, if you can get there in the deadlift, great, right? But don't keep going just because it's going to sacrifice your body, right? Right. And then you want to stop at any point that anything feels any kind of not good, right? So if you feel your back more than anything else in your body, time to stop, right? If you feel your back and your glutes and your hamstrings and your grip all at the same time, great. But if you do an exercise and like all I feel is my back, that's probably a good sign that we should probably like take some notes of where we're at and before we move on to something else, okay? Now, when you do get your deadlift, something is changing is that you're going to be able to take and shift right into the next hinge pattern, which is going to be the hip lift. So once you finish your deadlift, right, you can move into 10 RM or 5 RM hip lift, which is going to be really good data for future notes in the past, okay? The last thing about the barbell deadlift that I want you to think about is what you're doing with your grip. If we suggest a double overhand pull for as long as possible until your grip is slipping. Then we suggest an alternate grip, so that if I'm going to do a set of 3 heavy, I am 1, 2, 3, right? We don't want to pull the exact same alternate over and over and over again, because we're actually twisted, and that can be super dangerous for our posture and our back and our hips. So always alternate your grips, right? Stay double overhand until you cannot, then go to an alternate once grip becomes an issue there. Anything else on deadlifts? Okay. I've been doing this entire thing barefoot. You should also do all your deadlifts barefoot. You don't need shoes for this. Okay. It's super dangerous to lift with swishy things. And again, remember, it's about what the quality of what my body is doing. The weights happen to come off the ground by magic. Right? I'm not sacrificing my form just to move this thing arbitrarily through space. Doesn't matter. Okay? Cool? Hope that helps. Integrity of your abs, 360-degree belt. And remember, it's my hips going back and my knees locking and my ass squeezing to stand my body up. The height of the bar and the bell just get to where they get to. I'm not just moving this thing around with no internal thought about what my body's doing through space. Okay? Happy deadlifting. Have fun. Be safe.